The Calgary Flames finished last year with a very surprising and impressive 96 points. It was not enough to get them into the playoffs because the Western Conference was just that competitive. But you had to take your hats off to them. And obviously, too, that allowed them to go out and sign their goaltender, Dustin Wolf, right before the season started. $7.5 million. We'll get to that in a second. The over-under for the Flames points this year, according to BetMGM, is actually pretty low considering what they had. 83.5. Do the Calgary Flames beat 83.5? They had 96 points. That's a huge regression.
They only missed the playoff spot based on a tiebreaker with
Right.
the St. Louis Blues. They tied in points with the Blues, and they didn't have as many regulation wins as them. So
The Blues were a second away from the second round.
Yeah.
But the odds makers are saying that they overachieved last year, and that tied for the last playoff spot.
13 points.
They're saying that result was a bit of overachievement based on what the roster is.
Yes. And I have to be honest with you. I agree with them. I would go. I'm going under on this one, or not under. Sorry, I guess you could go over 83.5 and still think they're going to finish with less than 96 points.
That's where I'm landing. I'm going over.
I think that's an easy over. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy over.
1.87, by the way. Over and under are even odds. So yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Jesse, what do you think?
No, I like the over, but I don't have them finishing as high as fourth in the Pacific as last year.
So let's talk about that, Jesse. Why?
Yeah, it's the goal scoring. It wasn't there, and they got otherworldly goaltending. We kind of know on how last season went, on like how they play hockey. We're relying on Dustin Wolf to get this thing done.
Yeah,
and we're gonna hopefully cross our fingers that we get a couple past the other team so we can win this game 2-1. And that's how they went the entire season long, and it worked. Like it worked to perfection. It's just, am I gonna bank on that working again? No.
Well, and this is the thing. So, we talk about the goal, the goal scoring and the goaltending. Obviously, the goaltending got them places. Mike, their leading scorer is Nazem Kadri, 35 goals. Mm-hmm. Extremely impressive.
Career high
at 34. How many times is that going to happen?
This is what you look for with teams. Who'd they get? Who'd they lose? Who do they still have? Mm-hmm. And is what they did repeatable? Typically, your goal scoring doesn't go up as you age.
Right. And people forget, too, that Dan Vladar is no longer there and had a great year last year and got a big fat contract in Philly. So their backup situation is not the same as it was.
And it's funny because they're in a division with the Seattle Kraken, and they're both teams where their starters are so good. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the Kraken could have potentially... They finished 7th in the division, could have maybe made the playoffs if they got anything from their backup at all. And as of right now, the Flames' backup is Devin Cooley.
Who's good? He's good.
I don't think he's going to be their backup to start the season. Unless he is.
Yeah, he might be.
I don't.
And here's
I have a hard time. There's so many goalies who are going to be available.
Well, and this is the other thing I want to ask you guys, because we talk about, the goaltending being very, very good. You lose Vladar. There's a step back. There's no question in the backup goalie position. The other one I wonder about is how quickly does this Rasmus Andersson deal get done? And what I mean by that is he, for all intents and purposes, is not re-signing unless something drastically changes, right? Mm-hmm. Unless they have a come to Jesus, what were we thinking? I could never let you go. What I understand too is that he wants to go. Okay, without their top scoring defenseman, and then their top scoring forward had 35 goals last year, and that's a career high. Like that, I think even takes it further down. And it's not that Calgary's bad. They've still got Mackenzie Weegar. Kevin Ball's good. But,
Zane Parek's a real wild card there.
Yeah, that could be the place to step in. But are we going to see that until Anderson goes? Is he going to get the opportunity?
That's going to be a very delicate dance in Calgary. If Parek earns that in training camp and in exhibition, does that maybe accelerate the process? Like, all right, we need to create a spot here.
Right.
I don't know.
Now, the other thing is they could score more this year because you look at who they brought in last year. Sharon Govich was a couple years ago, but he has scored since coming. Mm-hmm. Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost, which they got for
a full season of them now.
Yeah, and coming in training camp rather than just jumping in. Connor Zary and Matt Coronado both got extensions, and Coronado's was a really healthy one. He's 22. He's going to make $6.5 million. Good for him.
Zary got hurt.
So if and also I think down the lineup, there's some other guys that you go, okay, yeah, I could see them scoring a little bit. There could be more group scoring here. It could make up for it, but I don't know.
I'm a bit surprised they were the lowest scoring team in the league. You know, a name that we didn't even mention is Jonathan Huberdeau. And like at the
They're
end
29th.
Oh, it was 29th?
Yeah.
Wow,
They weren't the
moving
lowest
on
scoring.
Yeah.
in the world. They were contending for last for a bit there. Like, I mean, your $10.5 million player's got to fucking score.
Yeah, when he's like, now that he's a couple years into Calgary, he's been finding his pace.
Yeah.
Jonathan Huberdeau
Yes.
has.
Yes.
Last season was his best year in Calgary, I think, out of all of the years. But yeah, I think like going into the season, if you're a Calgary Flames fan, there can't be any expectations on this team. Like you shouldn't be, hey, I think this team's going to be a playoff team. I'll be disappointed either way. Or I think they should tank completely for last, because they're going to be hovering on one side or the other. You know, it's either going to start off really slow, and then that's kind of good. You're building, hopefully your prospects just get better, and all the young guys you mentioned, hopefully they take a next step. Or, hey, they're playing a little above their head, and then you're like, plus, because we do have a lot of veteran talent, and maybe they're overperforming right now or performing to what we think they can be. So it's kind of just, let's wait and see if you're Calgary, and there shouldn't be expectations on either side of what direction this team should be. It's whatever the players on the ice kind of show us, they're going to unveil what direction this roster should be taking come that trade deadline.
There are some really nice pieces. If they're selling at the deadline, there's some good. I mean, beyond Rasmus Anderson, one name, if they were going to sell, that sticks out is Blake Coleman. Blake Coleman in the playoffs. People forget how great he was with Tampa.
You're not going high enough. That's a great name. It's a great name, and you're 100% right. But with Calgary, I mean, they're always just so damn noisy. Like that.
Yeah,
that
it's a noisy front
noisy, leaky front office. And my name was Kadri.
Well, his name's been out there, but he's got 4 years left, and he's their top line center. And I don't see it, because I look at them and I go, okay, so then what?
Well, they got to be
How
back.
many more years before you find another center like Nazem Kadri? Because they don't have. I mean, maybe Morgan Frost. Morgan Frost is not Nazem Kadri.
No, but he's 34, and then he'll be 35, and then he'll be 36, and then he'll be 37. You see the trend?
This season doesn't feel like the season to trade Kadri, just because of the control he has over this season's movement.
Yes.
So he has a full no move clause this year. So he decides wherever he wants to go, he will go.
That feels like a draft thing.
Next year, the contract at the draft, or no, it would have to be after draft, have to be July 1st and on, when the season calendar turns over. He has a 13-team no-trade list. So you have a collection of the NHL. You can just negotiate whatever deal you want with. Well, so I feel like it makes more sense if you're going to trade Kadri to do it not this season.
Well, and you could say at the draft, you say to him at the draft, hey, listen, so that 13-team list expires in a few days, so we are going to trade you there one way or the other.
Do you want it to be now or 7 days from now?
Yeah.
So the draft can be a place where they can do this deal. I don't think it happens during this regular season.
This team a couple of years ago was annoying because they were like the lead on every 32 Thoughts segment on Hockey Night in Canada, and all we heard about was, they're going to move this to this person. It was a lot of Toronto rumors. I look at this roster and I'm intrigued. It's not hopeless. They can do it. They can hit 96, 97, 98 points. Everything has to go right like it did last year. They've got to do some more group scoring. But there's pieces here that are really strong. And if they got into the playoffs, they'd be a pain in the ass. But without Rasmus Anderson, I'm having a hard time with it.
In the 2025 NHL, backup goaltending is so important. You need those points. If Wolf goes down, they're boned.
Right.
So I do generally like what they're doing, but they're going to lose a lot of points that way unless Cooley's unbelievable.
Right. Or they make a goaltending move after we record this and everybody's like, oh, you're an idiot. You didn't know.
Imagine they get a goalie for Anderson.
100%.
They're probably not.
Probably not.
Imagine they did.
So here's my question. Okay. Calgary Flames finished 5th in the division last year with 96 points. It truly is at the top. It's a have and have not division. 96 points, outperformed even the Vancouver Canucks, which I don't think anybody could have called. 41 wins. I think we all agree that we don't think 96 is repeatable, and I'm happy to be wrong. Where do you have them finishing in the division this year based on what you've seen? They were 4th last year. What will it be this year?
There are 2 teams in the Pacific I don't have an answer written down yet because I just
you're running out of time.
Yeah, you might want to write them down.
You might have to do it in the next 5 seconds.
I'm putting around between 2 numbers, and I'm gonna say 5.
You have them at 5.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesse Blake, where do you have the Calgary Flames finishing this year?
Yeah, like their finish last year, when you look at the numbers it's so unbelievable that they did it. They were 26th in penalty kill, 29th in goals for. Power play was 15th. They were even in the part of the team where they're supposed to be good in goals against, they were still 15th in goals against per game. So, like, I think, they overachieved. I'm going to have them finishing 5th again in the Pacific, but on a less points total. I think they're just better than those bottom-feeding teams because they have so much more matured talent.
And Dustin Wolf.
So I have 5th division finish as well.
So this is not going to be popular, but I have them 6th behind the Anaheim Ducks.
Wow.
I think there will be a precipitous fall-off. I would not be shocked if they finish with 86 rather than 96 points, and that will not be a failure. That will just be part of the transition process that the Calgary Flames are in.
This season is about individual development of their young guys.
Yes. Yeah.
You have them dropping 10 points, and you still have them above the over. Or above the over under.
Yeah.
That's...
Come on.
Yeah. 100%.
They're
Take the
going
over then.
They're going over.
Very least take the over.
83 is disrespectful. My God.
There's your Calgary Flames season preview.